Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, and welcome back to the At Home Film Festival. I'm continuing to whet our appetites, getting ready for live theater to come back. It's so exciting, can't wait. I've done musicals, I've done plays, and now I'm sort of doing one-act shows. Like this one, for example, Audra McDonald in Lady Day at the Emerson Bar and Grill. I've reviewed this before. I love this show. But you know, a one-act show is hard to do, and that's usually not my favorite genre because you have to be super talented to be on that stage for me to enjoy your work for 60 to 90 minutes or 2 hours. But if you think about it, it's really taxing on the performer. They're up there entertaining us all every single day with the same show, giving us all that energy, and it's only them. They can't even take a break. So for me to like a one-act show, you have to either be super talented like Audra, or it has to be great source material, like something super well written. So let's take a look at some shows that are singularly sensational on their own, okay? By the way, stick with me to the very end. I have a few shows that are so amazing and then they're starting to come back to life when the theaters reopen. You can't watch them at home, but this will really get you prepared to go to the theater. So stick to the end, promise you. Let's start with A Night with Janice Joplin on Broadway HD. Not quite a one-person show because there is a band and background singers, but it's like a Janice Joplin concert. The star, Mary Bridget Davies, knocked it out of the park. She was so amazing. I'm so glad he filmed her version, even though I did like the other person that played the role on Broadway, because see, on Broadway, that voice is so big and so used that it's hard to do 8 times a week, so they actually had to alternate 2 actresses in the role. Catch this one on Broadway HD if you feel like going to a Janice Joplin concert, and who wouldn't, right? So good! Also on Broadway HD is Bright Colors and Bold Patterns. Very funny one-person play with Drew Droege, who's funny and everything. When I see his name, I'm there. Anyway, he plays a character that's going to a gay wedding and they tell him to wear more muted colors to the wedding so he doesn't stand out. Well, obviously he doesn't get the memo or ignores the memo because he's sassy, brassy, fun. I love Drew Droege. Find this on Broadway HD. You will love it too, I promise. Wishful Drinking, the Carrie Fisher story, a one-person show, was funny on Broadway. I saw it in the Bay Area, and then they filmed it for HBO. This is a sitcom at its best. Carrie is droll, she's riotous, it's an amazing show, and it's all a true story. Her life was so funny and wonderful in so many ways. So catch this on HBO, Wishful Drinking. Have a drink with me while doing so, okay? Elaine Stritch is such a stitch. Really took me a whole 30 seconds to come up with that. She is a Broadway legend. She's the treasure of the theater. She could sing, she could dance. She has the best timing and delivery probably anybody you've ever seen on the stage. So much so that when she filmed Elaine Stritch at Liberty, she won a Tony Award on Broadway, and then when they did it on TV, she won an Emmy Award. And she's able to hold our attention with her stories and her songs for 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's a really long time for someone to be on stage alone. But you know what? There's also an edited version for people that can't take it that long. She is so captivating that I thought it was wonderful. It's often on PBS. You can find a poor copy on YouTube, and of course, where else? Broadway HD. You should check this out. Elaine is a master of the theater. Yes. Who would ever thought that A Man and 6 Guitars would be an entertaining show to me? Benjamin Scheuer had proved that in his show The Lion, which he's taken across the country. He's performed live in so many cities, and Broadway HD was able to capture it all, where it's a biographical story that's heartwarming, it's dramatic, it's every emotion you'd ever want with 1 man and 6 guitars. Great show. Thank you, Benjamin. Stand-up comedians fall under one-person shows after all because they're standing up and alone. One of my favorites is Margaret Cho. She's got so many filmed stand-up shows, and a lot of them are free, but my favorite is Cho Dependent. This showcases Margaret's many talents. Not only is she so funny that she will make you laugh till you pee your pants, but she also performs some songs. I didn't know Margaret had that side. I really, really like this show, but you know what? She's one of the funniest women I think ever made, so it's hard not to like her. So feel free to watch any of them, but for a few dollars, you can rent Cho Dependent on Amazon. I suggest you do it. Another super funny man that could keep me laughing all night long is Alec Mapa. So he had a stand-up filmed version of a show of his called Baby Daddy. So it's Alec Mapa Baby Daddy, free on the Roku channel. I also found it free on YouTube. What made this better than a lot of just other stand-up comedian shows, it also has a little cutaways to his life story, but actually being a baby daddy and a husband. So that kind of elevated this and made me put this on the list, but he's also such a really nice person. I met him once and his husband and their director. They're all terrific people, and I like when people get fame, they still are down to earth and real. So Alec, I still appreciate you for that, but in the meantime, keep us entertained. I look forward to more. Speaking of more, that's 7 shows that I always like to recommend each week, but I have a little extra for you. These really aren't filmed shows right now, but you have to just put them on your list of things to seek out, because sometimes the writing of a show is so amazing or the star of it elevates things, and I would feel bad if I didn't tell you about these great shows and or performers. So let's take a look at shows you'll have to wait to see live sometime, but do wait. Patience is a good thing. First, we have I'll Eat You Last. It was on Broadway with Bette Midler. There was a big brouhaha about it because she got such great reviews and no Tony nomination. What? But this is a story of Sue Mengers, who Bette plays magnificently. And if you don't know who she is a movie agent, and she put together some really good casting and deals. Sometimes they went south. One tidbit that interested me in particular, because I'm a fan of Barbra Streisand, is that she got Barbara to make this movie all night long, which I didn't mind and I kind of liked, but it super flopped, and I don't know if that put a strain on the relationship. Barbara did it as a favor for Sue. And even if Bette wasn't in it, the story is still captivating that if it comes to your town regionally, you should seek it out. Then there's Buyer and Seller, written by Jonathan Tollins. You could tell that this could be performed by most anybody because it's so witty of a story that it's hard to screw it up. I did see it with its original star, Michael Urie, who was great. I also saw it with his understudy, Clancy O'Connor. And I saw it in the Bay Area with J. Conrad Frank, and I loved it every time because it's such an outrageous story. Once again, it ties into Barbra Streisand. Feel a theme here. But Barbara wrote a book, My Passion for Design. And in the book, we learned that Barbara has a basement that's like a mall. So Jonathan, clever writer that he is, actually finds someone to work in the basement in the mall at Barbra Streisand's house. That part's fiction. There's really nobody that goes to Barbara's mall and works, but she does have one. So if you're ever in Barbra Streisand's house and you want a soft serve ice cream or a doll or jewelry, you know where to shop. Super, super funny show. You can carry it off if you're a talented person, and it doesn't hurt that it's super well written. So find this when it comes to your town. It was once filmed during the pandemic in a fundraising event with Michael, and I tried to find it if we could still watch it, but we can't. But keep your eye out for it because it's really, really funny. Another great show is Mighty Real, The Fabulous Story of Sylvester. Oh my God, you talk about actors made to play part. Anthony Wayne brings Sylvester back to life. The show goes around the country a lot. He and his partner are so passionate about it. It's technically a one-person show, but yes, he has background singers and dancers, but it's really the story of Sylvester on stage. If you don't know who he is, where have you been? You better look up in your history books, you millennials. But find out more about this show and other great things they do at anthonyken.com. But let's take a listen. Okay, now here's one touring the country right now, Remembering James with Diedrich Weathersby. He is so great. He does a fantastic job of James Brown. And he's the man behind the show, not just the man in the show. He really puts his heart and soul into this. He's touring right now with his show, so you could see it in your town. He goes across the country. Go to DiedrichWeathersby.com to find out the schedule. In the meantime, if you want to feel like you're hearing James Brown, listen to this. That was not James Brown. Could have been. So let's end with an interesting tidbit and story. So when I was leaving the James Brown musical at the Boxcar Theater, which is a great place to see shows, boxcartheater.org. In fact, if you see the name Nick A. Olivero, know that you're in good hands because he is really one of the masters of the Bay Area. Love him. Anyway, as I was leaving the James Brown show, feeling I just saw James Brown, this man in the lobby tried to get me to go see Lady Day at the Emerson Bar and Grill with his wife, Doris Renee Bumpus. Now, we started off with me saying Audra McDonald. I'm sorry, Doris, but there is no way on earth that you could have been better than Audra McDonald. But her husband said she was super talented. Then he played me a little clip of Doris. Oh my God. Oh my God. How many great talents could do Lady Day? Doris nailed it as well. You need to find this show. Oh my God, let's find Doris singing. Come on, let's find her singing. You know, Doris, I'm your fan. DorisBumpus.com. There we have it. A lot of shows you can see now, some you should look forward to, but I hope to see you back next week with a whole new show. I really love comments. I'm not getting a lot. I'm getting views, but I'm not getting interactions. You guys got to interact. This is your show too. So let me know what you think, and please share and subscribe. Tell those who subscribe to share, and tell those who share to subscribe. I will see you next week. Can't wait. Let's go out with Doris. I don't mean on a date. She has a husband. We're going to go out to the show with Doris.